All right, everybody, let's get right to it. How's everyone doing today? Big shout out to chat. Welcome. Quite an eventful day already. Let's get to it. What's going on, everybody? Great to see you today. What are we doing? We up or down? Boy, this is like absolute whipsaw movement. We had some really interesting patterns this morning, and I've been looking for like a midday rollover. Not happening. Not happening. Really quick, what's up, chat? Great to see everybody. What's going on? Quite a day. Just to show you guys, this is what I was thinking this morning. So we had a couple of things early on Qs and SPY. And this was, just so you know, look, this market's been super reactive. Super reactive. So right down at 363 and change, 364 area. We were looking for reaction to 367. Well, check it out. We're already 369.70 now. So I caught some early calls. There you go. The 366s were 60, 65 cents this morning when we posted. And I rode those to about 150, 180. Yeah. And we were looking for 247. And it actually is now 330 and change. So great options action. And then just to be completely transparent here of this, you know, looking for this midday something or other, shark pattern on the SPY, the Qs. So it's not over. Be mindful that it's going to be an eventful day. They went positive briefly just now and then flipped back. So expect some inflections. You know, 5 minute, that's a hell of a chart. What it is, really, it's a crazy type 2 on the 5 or you know, tertiary test, because we could say that that's your 1. Sorry. There's your type 1. Came back for the 2. Now what do you do? We got to look for something up here back in the zone. Still could roll over. Be a great afternoon trade. It's just that volatile. What's going on, chat, everybody? Great to see everyone. Eric, Efran, Boro, Carthago, Crypto Clan, what's up? Nicholas, David, always here. You're the best. Miss Stephanie, everyone else. Folks, get over to harmonictrader.com now. If you're not a basic member or you're not a subscriber here, connect with YouTube so that you get the notification when we go online. We're here Tuesday and Thursday, 12 noon Eastern. It's a lot of days. Usually it's 12, 12:15, 12:30. And then get over the basic members page for all the resources. Everything that we do is pretty much uniform across the board if it's a 30-second or a daily or a weekly time frame. What's going on? Chell Woon Kim, if that's how to pronounce it. Storm's over. Thank you. Mateo, Brain Freeze, what's up? Daniel, gap fill 438.42, most likely. We got to see. They are just banging this around. So, again, get with basic members page. And then if you're not on TradingView, I definitely think you got to get on there. What my thought is that since people are really interested in either MetaTrader or eSignal, we do some kind of package. If you want to purchase both, let me know. You have to contact me directly on Discord, and we can do a package deal, because a lot of people are asking for that. So just, if you have questions, the best thing to do is to get the trial on the software, send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Get with it, try it, then follow up to subscribe. Also check out MetaTrader, eSignal. That's how we're getting the levels. I don't care what you do. Everything is about levels. Everything is about getting your levels lined up, getting yourself lined up with your levels, and then writing it. Confirmation, everything. Where are we? Qs are 369. Let's go to this really quick. Let me show you that this QQQ chart. There's the 30-second Qs right now. You're back up at this 30-second crab pattern. So again, you know I love to give you guys something happening like as we speak. There you go. So maybe we're looking here for that. I'm looking for a midday turnaround. Midday, you know, I mean, come on back. There's target 2. There's the shark. All right, amazing. I was just looking for target 1 up to 367. It decided to go to do a full target 2, 369.70. Fairly remarkable. And again, you got to stretch this out. You know, where the heck is this going? Where's the market going? Because in this whipsaw, really easy to get turned around. You got to be patient, be willing to sit out. You know, let it come to you. And I think what we have here, if we move it to the right, blow it up. Listen, T2 on the hourly at 369.15 just hit. But what needs to happen and why that early pattern isn't working out? Because, you know, thinking about it here, that 60-minute HSI triggered this morning. HSI lines up with amplified, so we're probably still up. And probably up, you know, somewhere to retest these prior highs already. If it wasn't going to roll by, oh, I don't know, 11:30 or noon, it wasn't going to happen yet. That's my opinion there. And this 30-second pattern, that's probably everything we need to know for the day. One of the reasons why I don't think this is going to work and why I personally bailed out on the puts not 30 minutes ago was we ran into HSI up, up, up. And now you're at the hop. What are you going to do? I mean, this would be the ideal spot. 30-second time frame during the day. And a 5-minute, though. Look, you're still overbought here. I mean, it's an unusual situation, but it is real close. And it kind of looks like that. Keep your eye on that. 369.70 on the Qs. I'll watch that our whole session here today. It ain't over. It ain't over. And you go to the daily, probably a good thing to be updating. So here is the real crazy thing is that we still need an HSI check back, 371. That could be one reason why you're seeing what you're seeing, but a couple of inside days like this, I mean, you've had several swings here, remarkable swings, you know, 1-2% swings within these inside days. Market's still pumping up. So yeah, favor that up a little bit more. It's not ready yet. Not ready for a midday roll down. Qs just go positive, plus 30 now, 369.70, right where we talked about on that hourly breaking out. So T2 designation, this happens. This is why we have it. Look, here's T1 designation back here. Remarkably, that was a week ago. And we finally get T1. And then within 3 hours, you get T2. What do you do in those situations? You got to realize it's to the right. I think that's the deal here, that you're going to need a bearish hourly close. You're going to need some kind of confirmation up here. Flirting with highs of the day. So, you know, a lot to go on in terms of having potential big turnaround, big move. And it's probably clearer even in the SPY, because that has a big pattern. And, we've been on this for a while. Look, this is the interesting thing about the crab. Also, I mentioned that this real sneaky XA level, 436.31, 436.40 generally is a major harmonic resistance level that just checked back yesterday. Looked like we would start something for the return phase back to 420. I know. You guys, 420. 420.24 is XA retest point. Thing is, you'd want a dot here. So we're still checking back. This needs to be a failed breakout to get the return. Yesterday check back was on par. This morning looked like we were going to start that return immediately. It's going to take more time. We know it needs 2 more days to be a dot. And everyone else, folks, they're looking at this. Okay, that's the failed gap. The world is looking at that gap, so maybe that's the run. Daniel, you said that. No, it's Daniel's asking, is there anything on SPY? Not yet. We had that shark, but not triggering yet. There you go. There's the 5. And it's on the regular trading hours. There it is. So, okay. Alternate bat, shark. There's the dot. So you really have to look here. Is this a big fake out against a lot of static resistance? I mean, boy, it looks like that. Yeah, I think so, Red Nose. For sure. I think you can post links, Evan. I think you can post some links in the chat if you want to. If you want to link in TradingView charts or what have you. But the SPY again is dealing with this crab and T2 designation where let's watch what happens here. And you're still, from this point, you're still 2 days. You need 2 days. This bar right here, it's a nice recovery so far. I'm impressed. The heck is this? Oh, here's the 5 minute. That's right. Well, I just said that alternate bat. This thing is gonna flirt up. 438, 439 on this recovery bounce. That's what it is. Yeah. Oh, there's the extended hours too. You had patterns down there when it sold off this morning. You had patterns. Not to mention there's the shark for the SPY. It was shark to 5-0. Right there. T1 433. I mean, that's as good as it gets. So, okay, hop here on the shark 5 minute 438. 13. Probably. This would be the area to be looking for in terms of the SPY. I was focusing on the Qs mostly this morning, but that's a sweet setup. And, somewhere in there, favor the hop. 438.13. Nothing yet. Everyone was looking for this thing to just tank. And I just think we're still in a real tight zigzag, up one day, down the next, feast famine market. That's it. I said this about individual issues, and crypto too. You have a handful doing great. You have the rest languishing. Let's look at the top 5. Microsoft, what's going on there? Another one that's been plus minus 5-10 points almost every day. Deep crab, but even this one runs into an hourly HSI. You know, come on back and retest that. Breaking out. What's that 5-minute look like? Yeah, I bet you. There. Bunch of patterns, 335. I mean, this is really tight. Every time you get to 335, you're just squeezed here. 335 to 325. And that probably remains. I said this last session that markets will bottom in October and confirm in November, and that's pretty much what you're looking for, where any kind of confirmation, what's really going to happen out of this October action will sort itself out probably in about 2 weeks fully. Where we are in 2 weeks will dictate, you know, is this going to turn around and do something, you know, go higher? Run against, is this correction from the summer over? Because that is the deal for a lot of these stronger techs. Okay, you come off this HSI, you're checking back. You have patterns. I mean, you just have a lot of levels where you're banging against it, grinding sideways. Is this going to give it up? I mean, for right now, we want to look at the resistance for sure. You're coming back on a lot of these levels, hitting resistance that, you know, continues to put the lid on it. Here's Apple. Okay, another HSI daily. This had some patterns back to back, but and I've said this where, you know, 167, huge target one. Now what happened just 2 days ago? You have 1 and 2 HSI signals just since the summer. Give me another. I need to see confirmation to the right of that. So you're not. It's not like you're triggering anything on that kind of market. If I had an oversold reading on Apple with this pattern, I'd say, yeah, maybe, you know, maybe it's going to do something more. It's just, it's not there yet. And you are getting follow through in the zone. But give me the next bullish signal down here. And I think it's under 174. Maybe it's close to 171. But it's like that. Amazon is another where it just absolute zigzag, especially the last 4 or 5 days, you know, stuck at 129, 130. And we just want this to come do its thing down to 119 to resolve the whole summer correction, get to target 1. So we're still in reaction territory on a lot of these. Last couple of days, we've seen some overbought triggers with HSI. Gotta watch how this is bunching up. You're at another point here. Stock like this is it's just really coiling, where you break the range, and again, we would favor it because it's the bearish. You break the range, break under, close under the 130, 129. Then you get that continuation here. Let's see here. Qs are nominally up 35 cents or so. Meta, another one, just continues to hold. Seems like, you know, this uptrend is just going to continue. So let's watch that. I mean, there are, like I said, feast or famine market, because that uptrend should continue. You got earnings coming up in a few weeks, so it really is a difficult time to think about narrative, think about, all your headline risk and everything that people are talking about, and say, well, shouldn't we worry about X, Y, or Z? What's the chart say? Where are the patterns? What are the levels? So stay focused on that. Meta has not, since it cracked above 300, it just continues to hold. There's the 4-hour chart. That's 300 all summer long. There's 300, pierces it, consolidating, trying to build a base for the next move. And even the deep crab for Meta, again, we're going to have to really focus on this. That target one at 313, that might have been just it to launch you back into 330, 335, something like that. Because the T1 designation just happened. I guess we'll get T2 pretty soon. Oh, yeah, when we get up to 329. Close. That's close. Let's go. Couple more. Yeah, I'll get into Bitcoin and what happened there. Pretty ridiculous. Here's Nvidia, folks. So what happened on Nvidia? We know there was patterns there. Remember 410. Looks like that. With your major resistance is 467. I mean, period. Going forward, some people even thinking this is starting to put in a head and shoulders, which I traced that out last time. We take away the patterns. Yeah, this right shoulder, critical, but it's critical for the fact that you have target 2 at 451, you have HSI, so you have to play it and wait on, let Nvidia roll back down. Let it come back into that larger zone and wait for the next bullish confirmation. So it's, off of 451, target 2, you got to just back off, let this thing come back and do another retest, or give you a confirmation wherever that correction ends, but you're not there. I mean, take a look at HSI under the 50 now. It's got to come back like that. This stuff with HSI, it tends to go, and the way we should treat it is from extreme to extreme. So think of it like a phase, all right, where we go dot to dot or HSI to HSI, that, okay, from there to there, that's a pretty well-defined move. But because that dot triggers and, rolling over, then what's the next dot? The next dot's probably back lower. General way to look at that. It's absolutely been hitting the levels precisely. As volatile as it's been, we've seen some remarkable levels get hit and then turn on a dime. Couple more. The bigger things that I've been mentioning, like the Coca-Cola of the world, check that out. This is what I mean when the patterns are showing us things where if we turned off our TV, we'd say, great, awesome. This is prime ideal harmonic pattern material. It's a type 2 on the Gartley. Okay, there we get a potential 1 bar turnaround for Coke. We've talked about 55 as the minimum, as low as 52. It is bouncing exactly off the hop level, and we're looking for low 50s, return move back to 62. So this is one of those old economy. I know it's, you probably do it this way. Folks, let me take off the pattern. Okay, we know nothing about harmonic patterns. Nothing. Is that a buy or a sell? Are we catching a knife here? What do we have here? And that's why we do the patterns. Because we do patterns, we bring up the zones like that, and you get the T2 designation, you're looking to the right for price action and confirmation. Oh, when's earnings? Really soon. What? A week from today. A week from today. Earnings. I would think minimum 59. And shoot for that target. Up to 59 bucks. Yeah, a couple more like this though. We've seen it. Johnson & Johnson, another old economy favorite. Back down daily. Daily chart. There you go. Dots printing. Come on, patterns. Back-to-back patterns. There's a shark. 154.72, the floor. Or as some people would say, the flow. And I think that's a good spot to be looking here. And you can go to others. My other favorites, Philip Morris, super old economy. I'm going to flip through a whole bunch here. Again, if you haven't seen these, get them on radar. Target, big patterns, confirmation, T2. HSI, yellow dot, 3-bar breakout. I mean, treat it like this. People, time to time, especially new folks, welcome everybody. Ask me, okay, what's the sequence? What are we looking for? For the execution, that is. Well, T2 is a starting point. And ideally, you want HSI and you want a dot, and then you use the price bars. You go off those price bars. If it's a dot, shape out that as like, okay, we're looking at that as our support zone. And even more dramatic, an individual price action with a 3-bar breakout. Typically, that you can see that 3-bar get retested. You did a few days ago, but that 3-bar breakout is kind of the lighting the fuse, if you so to speak, of where you're looking for the larger price action to take shape, develop. Because pattern zones, reversals, patterns themselves are about a collection of individual bars. So let's go from confirmation or even go from the target 1 designation and 30-bar window. You got to give it 30. That puts you into early November. So that's going to take its time. Let's, I think anywhere in that zone of 110, 105. I don't even know if it's probably pausing before your next move. One or two more. I mentioned this. Yeah, Conagra Foods. That was one from the group. And I think last week, but a lot of these, look, you can go through these. And they are on sale. It's early. The T1 just literally was presented last week, 5 days ago, 3 days ago. And that's the first time we've seen it since the peak. Really the first marking since that correction, inflection. Hold up, 1 second. 1 second. All right, thanks. So let's focus on that. Let's I still say you get the big setups in these old economy style stocks as the Qs and SPY work out their deal, work out what they're going to do. I am looking for even the next, whatever this next pullback is, just so that I'm clear with everyone that it is a massive retest. And if we get it, and I'm talking the next week or 2 weeks, and we retest and go, like what we see here on the diamonds with this big bat pattern, almost set off that target 2, type 2 return, where, again, one more retest. No matter how bad it may seem in the next couple of weeks, if we get that, it is such a large trigger within the uptrend, and diamonds are probably the best example of that. I mean, look at that. That's amazing action, printing pattern after pattern after pattern. And we still get T2s. You know, we want T2s off these patterns to generate the larger move. But I do remember a year ago sitting there being like, there's 3 patterns all in the same area for the diamonds. And we're, building kind of a succession of higher harmonic patterns that on a broader scale, you have to say that's something that's building. Terminal bar after terminal bar, another terminal bar, and this will wiggle its way higher over time, especially with those kind of patterns printing. But if we get this return phase in the next week or 2 before the end of the month, that's the retest. That would be it. And then the whole cycle for next year would start, or at least whatever. There's 2 ways to look at this. Because if you're the QQQ, what you're thinking is a pullback and then, break out of this range. Break out of this thing. Come on back here. Where'd you go? I'll just do it this way. This is what is stuck. There you go. It's just squeezed within that. Also, the crab pattern. Let me remove the bat because it's a bat. It's a shark. I think the crab really outlines the whole framework of structures the best. We have another confirmation on this bat, but we're definitely, building here, trying to get this thing to do that eventual move. 336 off the crab that's the bigger number. It's just taking forever relative to what we typically see. There's T1. How many days? Yeah, we're 65 days in, maybe 60 something days in. It's more than the 30. Ideally, we want to see that happen in 30, but go off of each confirmation, and that's how this thing has been so tight. Until we bust out. And I think the most recent highs right there, 369, 370, or even, something like as high as 380. You're going to hit resistance for a while. And your best hope is that thing pauses out sideways and we probably just grind here between 360, 370 for till the end of the month. And then turn up or generate something on the daily where that sideways action is a dud. It's not there. If anything, you're looking for yet another dot, but this is coiling up that each of these reactions get bought up. There you go. And you're outside the normal limit. So still favoring down. Where are we on the 5-minute? Any midday action here? I guess, yeah, that's probably our midday dot right up here against prior resistance. What about the Qs on that 30-second? Hold on. Okay, we do have a crab. All right, this is a, here you go. Okay. Talk about getting stretched out. Look, reaction off the T1. You don't get to target one. And then at what point is that no longer valid? 30 bars, 60 bars? Think of it like that. Well, there's 30. And our last signal now, even on the 30-second chart, is bullish again. So you just got to hold on this. And the 5-minute, probably the best primary time frame. Surprisingly, the 5 minutes now oversold with this small reaction. So that's not, doesn't really set up anything for a short or expecting this to pull back just yet. If anything, watch this area. That's interesting. Oversold at a high level. Couple more. Yeah, Evan, Meta and others are telling a different story, and that's a great comment. I definitely think that you have a split market, probably for security reasons. You have people going in just to the big cap, and that's probably going to work, while others are getting crushed. Q's on. No, Daniel had a good one about the banks. I want to show you this. XLF on the financials. I mean, banks, yes. Financials, broader. Come on, where's my pattern? There, crab T2 already. And here's the bat, sorry. Hold on. Come on, where'd you go? Bear with me. Something happened here. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Hold on. Let me reload this. Something went wrong with my indicator. Let me go XLF. XLF on the daily. Which again, you're at this point where you're printing a lot of patterns. Oh, come on. What happened here, kids? Hold on one second. Thank you. So there's XLF. Range bound patterns galore. So if we're looking at the banks, or we want to know what the bank situation is, that's what Daniel's saying. Is there an opportunity here? XLF, financial ETF, it's just stuck between 30 and change, 31, and target 2 up here around 37, and that's probably where you're headed back. Retest that bat pattern. But look at things like JP Morgan with a big move up. Just the other day on earnings. Let me see weekly. Yeah, weekly. The weekly is literally a T2 shark. T1 shark. My fault. I have to blow that up. Come back to this 1 second. Let me increase that font so you can see that. There you go. Go huge on the T2 trackers so they really pop out. There it is. T1 $ off the shark, but no confirmation. If anything, that last HSI in the weekly popping still up. That does not look like a chart where the banks are going out of business, in my opinion. I think the better one is Goldman Sachs. I think that was what I was looking at here. Potentially. Well, forget that. Let me take off the pending. I only want to look at confirmed patterns, guys. I know that the potential and pending were flashing lower. There's what you're looking at, though, for Goldman Sachs, which is basically 300. Not there yet. Coming back, low support. But you're at the shark at 302.54 for Goldman Sachs. And didn't they just announce? Daily. And there it is. That's what Goldman Sachs is the one I was looking at the pattern with the news. T2, yellow dot a couple days ago. It's just a consolidation in here. 309 as low as maybe 305. Still range bound. I don't think the banks are the monster home run or going to do anything spectacular just yet. I mean, you're going to stay range bound like that. But certainly big formations are there. Here's the one I mentioned long ago, and it's basically just parked itself at this harmonic support. Weekly PNC. It's a bat pattern down there, like 129, but the daily, I think the daily was a crab. Like, what was it? 128 was the number. Yeah, something like this. Not the prettiest of patterns here. But you have levels, and that has to hold 128. But there's your downtrend. So break out. Break out of that. You got time. I don't know about those. I mean, it's your smaller banks. Yeah, New York Community Bank. I remember you and I talking about that. Didn't that have something big on the weekly? Amazing. These were all priced to go out of business just a few months ago. Maybe on some of these banks you can start looking soon, but they're not. It's still early on that. Hey, what's up, Faisal? When does the yellow dot go on? It goes on after you get harmonic strength index to trigger, and you get 2 bars to line up. I mean, let's look right now. I see the Q's rolling over. Futures rolling over. Let's go to the 5-minute here. There's our shark. So here it is. Amazingly, we're rejecting 369. That is target 2. And check it out. So how the dot goes on. HSI is early, always early. And HSI goes on there. But the process of how it responds is, since it's early, we're looking kind of like for a divergence formation, which includes retesting it and give me 1 and 2 bearish candles. So really, your focus is like there. And where it comes in has a lot to do with what action you take. Here's the extended. This was from this morning. That's a little bit different because dot's lining right up. That was the deal this morning. The dot lined right up with the zone. And that's what you want. I mean, again, it's not going to happen in every situation, but when it does, that's where you really focus in on it. Hold on, I'm trying to blow up the zone lines. Where do we go? Sorry. Here it is. Just to make them bigger. You can go huge or large. Okay. There you go. That's better. So again, I'm still thinking if this is a type 1, and that can still be, or are we going to get a rollover? Is that it? And then given how today has gone so far, look, that's still not out of the realm of possibility to come back and for a retest. Just we didn't get it immediately. What's going on? Infinite Paradox. Am I doing a Black Friday sale this year? Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? That's going to be more of including like more gold memberships type stuff. I'm still planning to do the seminar next Thursday. So get with the trial. And if for those that are new subscribers or have purchased, you get the free gold membership now. Contact me. If you want that discount, contact me now on Discord or soon. What's up, Iwan? Check the 30-minute. What's that for the Qs? Actually, I'm glad you brought up the 30-minute because HSI has been generating a lot on the 30-minute. Yeah, same shark. 30-minute did trigger out, and we literally just went into that next candle. So nice spot there. I do think 369.70 is going to have to watch this. Keep an eye on if we're going to get a midday shift, that this is just a mass reaction, short covering reaction, and then we're going to roll down. I expect, to see this thing start to get ugly. There's a 30-second time frame. That's what you want to monitor. Last dot. It's a bullish HSI, bullish dot against that pattern. I never like when this stuff gets stretched out. Okay. It becomes a dud after 30, 60 bars like this. There you go. That's 60. And you never got down to T1. So I would need to see a yellow dot up here. Your last two are bullish. So favoring the short just yet, not ready. This was where I was looking this morning. Sorry, here. Right there. With the dot. That was your first dot after T1, but no follow through right back. No follow through right back. That's fine. And then when I scanned out, because I'm intraday, 30-second time frame, and primarily 5-minute. Tell me what's going on in the 5-minute. That's critical. And then cross-reference that with like an hourly or 4-hour, and that's what's going on. The fact that we hit target 1 this morning, and the fact that, fell just shy, and you did a retest, that's a tough move. Almost exactly 363. Now you hit 363 exactly, 363.75, and you bounce super hard. You're back to target 2. Give me a dot over here for a larger thing. And you're not there yet. That's what you should focus on. Give me the hourly, give me like a 30-minute, but you need some at this point off of this reaction. Yeah, we need a yellow dot somewhere. Why do we not have type 1, type 2 signals on MetaTrader? Because we're still, frankly, I'm still testing this. We just released this like a month ago. Maybe it was late August. Someone can correct me. And I haven't transferred any of this other stuff over yet because I want to spend a few more months on this. I'm thinking about optimizing it because maybe what it should be is like a yellow dot with HSI and how to ultimately optimize the entire process, like the levels with the signals. You know, that hitting T2 where HSI finally confirms there is a starting point. But there's, you know, from T1 to T1 dollar sign structurally, you know, that was 3-4 points, but you still went another 250, almost twice as much before you generated a dot. So that's why you have to get with the TradingView program. And you can run the both. We do have HSI on all the other ones. And I'm running eSignal for the options. But the primary, no matter what, you have to have this set up on the underlying. And so get with this TradingView program. Run it on the Qs, run it on SPY. Really quick, let's do a breakdown on what happened with crypto before we get out of here. So there's Bitcoin. Back up at 28.5. Anyone notice this? Did you notice that we hit target 2? Almost exactly. It kind of reminds me of XRP, what XRP did. So I printed this pattern, I don't know, 6 weeks, 2 months ago. It was the T1 bat after the shark. And in some instances, we did hit the 886 retest. And it was a scam wick, but you still hit the targets. And I'm going to have to watch this now. Maybe it take a few more days because HSI is trending up. You did get overbought. And range bound, you know, 30 is the top, 25 is the bottom within the framework of this pattern. I mean, great move for a second. And take a look at even the 5-minute time frame. Look, the only way you would have captured that is if it was a limit order. It's actually more deceiving than it really is because, look, you were up there for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That was it. That's, if you needed more evidence of why crypto is not ready to do anything, that's exactly why. XRP and all of these, you know, they all popped and rolled and back down for what I think is now getting to be an interesting price. You know, down here 47. Big bat pattern. I'll look. I started a position, not a big one, just a little one, but if we get back to that 47 mark, that's what I want to see. I'll, you know, look to get more. Because the weekly time frame, and this is why it's tricky. Weekly is early. It just triggered. Last week we checked back. We had this kind of a thing. But you're probably 2 or 3 more weeks away before we get a bullish dot, just like we did back here last July. And again, weekly, you still took 2 months down here. Yeah, I don't know. I again, the whole news of the Bitcoin ETF, I think it just, they continue to jerk people around. It's not going to change. Cardano, same thing. Big patterns, do nothing. You know, and I started a really tiny position. I thought that was like 2K. And down here, 25, 26 cents, somewhere in there. 25.50, I think. But there's daily HSI. Trying to check back. So early development of potential something. Can that get going from here? You know, even if it went sideways for a month, this is the big trend line you need to bust out of. Yeah, we're early. You're definitely early there. There's Cardano. And just go off the 1 year. You don't even go, that's from 42 cents. All-time charts, just even nastier. But there's a base trying to develop there. I mean, that is, as ugly as that is a base trying to develop. Going to be a while. But you're scraping it. One or two more. I don't need to spend much time on this. Probably the best pattern is Bitcoin Cash with the Gartley. And check that out. And this is, again, why you want the TradingView platform, because it does have T1, T2 designation, especially for folks that are in crypto and you're looking for levels. This is what you need, because it was a big flush up to 242 and that was it, and get rejected here. And that Gartley, I've talked about that Gartley, that should cap this whole thing for now, where 196. So whatever that flash was, I don't care if it was fake news or otherwise, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. If it was Bitcoin, it was supposed to hit target 2. It was something like Bitcoin Cash, retest the Gartley, continue lower. What's up, Finn Glit? Unleashing financial freedom, he says. I would request if you can do a study on the Dow Jones. We just did that. We did NASDAQ. India Nifty. Yeah, I can do Nifty in a minute. I think a lot of people are interested still. The reason why a lot of the folks here are into crypto, because they're still holding it. Some folks are holding Bitcoin for years, Ethereum, XRP. Others have been through one or two cycles and they know the next cycle's coming. And they'd made bank on the last two cycles. I'm a relative newcomer. I hit the last cycle. I will be looking for the next cycle. Couple more. Solana. I think that I do find that interesting. And I'm not really, it's not that I'm looking for an entry on that, but Solana is printing some patterns. You saw that crab. I don't know why that disappeared. But we have a yellow dot, HSI. That's more the kind of thing that you would want to see, where you could do something like this. Break out of your B point above 25 and go to the 886. Maybe that's happening. Little band breakout, but that's a close above 25. Oh, here's the other one that I mentioned before, storage. And it's rolled over. I mean, this has been almost every crypto. This is probably 95% of all crypto. Up and back down, up and back down. And I don't care that this from here to there is a double or almost triple. Back down. Same as here. Same as here. So again, storage, come on back. I think, you know, it's all about this deep crab pattern for storage, 37 cents. But still, you want confirmation. Yeah. Okay. Here's the total index before we get out of here. It's all about keeping it above $1 trillion. There you go. You break under 972, kids. That's the only thing you need to worry about. Bitcoin and the rest of crypto, I think are going to kind of bounce range bound and doesn't get resolved until early next year. So total crypto, yes, you have an HSI on the daily. You're trying to hold target one, but again, with this kind of action and how many of these wiki candles do you have to go through to where you just got to be patient with it? Okay, enough of that. Enough. Let's check in Qs. Are they rolling? They're rolling. All right, 5-minute time frame. Broke the uptrend. And that's just overspill. I do think this is going to like roll over. The 30-second. Guys, look at this. There you go. That's your zone. No, I don't have a single yellow dot since these last couple of bullish signals, but that's what I'll look for. Or just oversold again. I mean, range bound, but I'm looking for this thing to roll over into the close. Maybe back down for this on the 32nd. You know, be mindful that 368 is a possibility. Even in a nominal reaction, is just a dud of a pattern. What about the 5-minute time frame for? Yeah, I mean, even the 5 is probably the clearer of the two time frames, and we're still in a downtrend off of that. So, yeah, you're up here at 369, maybe 367. That's a setup for this afternoon. SPY. What you got? Just because we're all the way up here above the Gartley, check it out. We are back at that shark. This is ping-ponging. I want you guys to really look for this afternoon. Structurally, that's your resistance. What's possible here for this to fail? Okay, come back, retest it. The entire Gartley. 433. You're 436 now. So I'm going to look for some, maybe into tomorrow. There's the 5-minute too. All right, it's not ready yet. HSI 5 minutes about to turn up as well. So you're no confirmation up there yet. But this is a big zone. I mean, for the week going into Thursday or even Friday, 438. Really quick, the crude oil. I meant to bring this up because that too, super whipsaw. Not Colgate Palmolive. Crude oil futures. On the 4-hour, folks, just ping pong go dot to dot and keep it on a 4-hour chart. I think it's, you know, crude oil is not doing much other than going from level to level. And these are the two levels. 93 target 1. And XA is all the way back here at 73, but gonna grind. I mean, everyone's looking for crude oil to moon because of the narrative. It says, all right, maybe something's going to happen there. It's not ready yet. Real close. We talked 93 forever. But the big moon phase comes on the retest. And that's either, you know, it could be 78 to 73. It's under 80 bucks. Got to be really careful on that. What's that? Carthago's saying the 2-year yield just went to new highs. We should be looking at that. At least for 30 seconds. Entertain it. Okay. There it goes. There it is. 521. Go to the hop. There you go. Now that's getting somewhere. So now talk about dud patterns. We've been looking for this 3-bar breakdown to lead to at least a target 1. Can you get something to let up in this? I don't think that's going to happen. I still say if you want a major problem in rates, it's above 530. It is above that hop level. I mean, we're breaking out. It's threatening. But above 530 is where, if you're going to see an acceleration, some kind of crazy move in rates, it's above that. And you're 9 ticks away. That's not a lot of ticks. What's it going to take? What's it going to take to cap that? Because even though it's taken its time, you know, there really has been no let up. Amazing. I think you got to go to the monthly chart on that 2-year to get perspective. You know, 5, you have a lot here. And is this going to bypass it really the first time in a long time? I mean, talking decades. This is a once, I'm going to say it, maybe once or twice in a lifetime interest rate situation where rates are getting out of control. I think probably the last time it did this magnitude of a move, it's bigger than the early 2000 move. It's more like what happened early 80s. So absolutely, you got to, it is a new condition, a new consideration you didn't have. Most of you have never had it. And we'll get to that point where technically you break that out, then that will translate to the market. It's just not yet. And it'll translate to crude oil because crude oil's got to pull back. And we said gold's got to pull back too. And that looks like this. I think it's doing it now. Daily time frame. There it is. It is a Gartley. Yeah, I talked about this last time. It just finished the reaction. 1846 to 1923. Get ready for that return move. Again, 1846. It happens when the rates pop. Is it an all-time bearish shark on the 2% on the 2-year yield? You mean like this? Is that the 2-year? All-time bearish shark would look like this. So the question is, there's the rates going back to the 80s. It's probably not even a good chart. Get the 30-year or the 10-year, probably the better of the two. We'll get more data. Yeah, you'll get more data. So use the 10-year. And the shark, I don't, all-time, no. I mean, there's 10-year yield. What you want to look at, if we're going to just annihilate here, and you're going to get that bigger breakout move, it's like this. Then that throwdown to the low, that becomes a 1618. It's like that. And retest 2007. Yeah, I get you to 5, well above 5%. retracement 8.4. That's want everyone to know, and I want to be on record now to tell you guys, and I've been mentioning that I'm not concerned about rates until they pop above those hop levels. The 2-year yield is above 5%. 10-year yield probably getting more like above these static highs, above, above 5%, above 5.2%, to where, yeah, then we would explode. Then you would have a problem. Also, the other thing that you should consider, this is going to happen quickly, like a dagger. And we get into something like these kind of conditions where this is my concern. Okay, markets all through the 60s, the 74 crash it was kind of crazy because you go all the way back to history and you say, well, wouldn't that be the peak of the market? No, actually the market rallied all through that up move. And then the early 80s, you had a significant decline in 82 and of course 87, but the market held in, okay, the whole time. What you need to see is this thing resolve itself and turn down. I mean, a monthly chart, and you're nowhere near there. So I'm now at a point where you're saying, look, you're out of the harmonic extreme. You're above a couple of defined levels here, like the shark, even the T2 of the crab pattern. If this was a type 1, type 2 situation for government bonds, 10-year yield, it's like this. T1 to T1 dollar sign, and then you had a shark back to back. Down for the T2. That's why this interest rate thing is such a huge deal. It's a monthly type 2 crab that bottomed out at 0.93% on the 10-year yield. You got a dot at, I think it was 0.6%, and you have never looked back. So I would think same deal has got to happen here. You're above your target too, clearly huge, going higher. I'm gonna have to see overbought triggers. I need to see a red monthly candle before I would even assume that the rate story is going to finish itself. Doesn't mean the market's going to go straight down. It's just as this ticks up, it definitely becomes more of an issue for the markets. So be aware of that. None of us really are bond traders. I've never traded a bond instrument, a bond futures in my life, but I follow it. I haven't really had to worry about it until in the last month, 2 months, even with the recent spike. And we talked about that spike. You go back to 2021, we talked about that. 2020, some of the earlier stuff that when we started, getting to be a problem. But think of it this way. We still need crude oil to pull back and give us a secondary retest. We still need the markets to pull back, give us a retest, again, daily or even weekly. So if we pop and we get a correction, that lines up. I mean, that would be your perfect October scenario. Do something crazy here. And then give you the retest. Again, let's finish up where we started. Qs rolling over. 5-minute time frame. Okay. There's 5. Oh, it's giving HSI, but it's rolling over. 369.70. There's our zone from earlier. That's where we started today. Again, looking for maybe by tomorrow, retest of today's lows. This is just a massive short covering bounce. What's the 30-second chart look like? Yeah, it's a stretched out. It's that stretched out shark. I think this will eventually give. I mean, the SPY's probably in a better position. And this is for the close. Oh yeah, look at that. 438 was the top. Okay, little shark off the top on the 32nd. Nice initial move. But there's my 5-minute zone. Amazing. 433 to retest that Gartley for tomorrow. We are going to continue to do this. Aggressive. So when we get up big, and you have a big fat green candle, you got to think hit the sell. Conversely, big red, you're going to think reaction to cover. And that's been really what's been happening last 30 days. I mean, look at these swings. Hard down, back up. Hard down, back up. Hard down, back up, back down. For now. Zigzag it. Day traders market, things moving? No. A lot of things are shaping up. There's a lot of patterns that I've mentioned when we started today. It just look for this retest to really settle it out. Yeah, now we're almost 2 points off the high for the Qs. Whoa, futures just dumped. Futures just dumped big time. There you go. Okay, my crew, I'm getting over to Discord. Let's play for that meltdown move for the rest of the day. Okay. Rest of you will come on back on Thursday. If you have any questions, get over to Harmonic Trader or contact Miss Stephanie right there. Become a basic member and then let me know. If you have any questions, I'll be around. Send me a note, harmonictrader@gmail.com. All right, everybody. It's going to be an interesting few days. I'll catch you back on Thursday, 12 Eastern. Have a good one. Go get 'em.